I have probably made all of the mistakes, witnessed all of the disappointments that you can have in trying to teach radio salespeople the professional aspect of what we do. I've gone out with sales reps to see how they work with a client, and it's just been embarrassing. And all along the way, I've always thought, what is the solution to this problem? How do we equip the radio sales rep with information that's going to allow them to go out and be a credible source of information to the client? Someone the client can believe in and can trust. Someone that makes sense, just common sense. And someone, quite frankly, who will listen. Everything that is in the radio advertising professional course has been a result of problems, mistakes, screw-ups, couldn't figure it out, that I've witnessed in my own companies in the last 40 years. I said, something's got to be done. There's got to be a way to do this that's better than what we now have. Years ago, when I first got started in the radio business, I had 3 or 4 small market radio stations. And I had the honor of serving on the NAB Small Market Radio Board. Quite an experience. One of those times while I was in Washington, they had a guru from the big board come in and talk to us about training and so on, or about radio. And I'll never forget, the gentleman said, the thing about selling radio advertising is always go in with an idea. Have an idea. Because if they say no to an idea, you can go in the next day with another idea. Never let them say no to radio. And of course, mine has always been a world of opposites. Generally what the accepted standard is, I always think the opposite. And so my feeling was, look, if they can't say no to radio, they also can't say yes to radio. And you're not going to make the big budgets if they can't say yes and mean it. And yes, because it works for them. I often have a little chuckle when somebody comes up and they say, have you got a good idea for a florist? Have you got a good idea for a veterinarian? Have you got a good idea for? Anybody got a good idea? Well, what they're talking about probably is some kind of a message that's going to create traffic that they can count on. One of the things that I think we're all obligated to do today is to work with America's small businesses who are struggling, who don't need to struggle if they had the right advertising medium and were using that advertising medium properly. And that's what radio advertising professional course is all about. It's a system. It's a system that you can work with, that you can be consistent with. It's easy to come up with the campaign. All you have to do is sit down with the individual and some of the customers of that individual business and say, why do you do business here? Why do you remain loyal? What does this gentleman do that makes you loyal to the business? Once you identify that and you repeat that same story in advertising, that's the big idea. That's the only idea you need. You don't have to keep thinking of what's the new idea commercial? What kind of jingle am I going to put with it? What kind of sound effects? What kind of... You've got it done. With Judson Irrigation, we've been running the same 12 commercials for 8 or 10 years because they all work. That's their story. That's what attracted them. In 1992, Judson came to me and he said, I understand you're a specialist at building small businesses. And I said, well, I don't know about that, but tell me what you want. Tell me what you're thinking about. Told me his story. Started out that I'm doing $111,000 worth of business in a season in the irrigation business. I either need to increase my income through the business or I need to go find a job. 10 years later, Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation was in the top 200 of 40,000 irrigation contractors in America. If I were going into radio sales today, I would want each and every one of these video programs available to me to address a client concern, objection, problem, improper advertising objective, whatever it is. I would want to have these at my fingertips to play, because if somebody's spreading their budget all over the marketplace, so they're giving every medium a little bit of money from their budget, got it all fragmented, I could play the video program from my iPad or tablet. The video program is set up with a common sense approach that is not arguable, common sense approach, and it does not know who it's talking to. The whole selling dynamic changes when you place something from an expert, which is over 50 miles away, and in 6 minutes get more education done than I could do personally in several years maybe. The other aspect of this is that if a sales rep is interested enough in developing a client, that they will take time to go in and sit down with a client and in 6 or 7 or 8 minutes educate that client in a certain marketing or advertising concept, all of a sudden you become a partner with that advertiser. They appreciate the fact that you've done something for me that nobody else has done. Nobody else will do. They don't tell me, they just want me to buy an ad in the paper. They won't tell me what it's for or how it works or anything. In fact, they're afraid. Newspaper is afraid. As you know, they're going broke everywhere. And they are afraid of what's going on. We are experienced enough in radio sales training to know that you don't just take a course over a period of 5, 6, 7 hours, take the tests, and you are now one. Any more than somebody can watch a heart transplant being accomplished and say, give me the scalpel, I think I can do it. Oh yeah? There needs to be some support, because every sales rep is going to run into a problem, a situation, a concern, a client attitude, something that is going to say, what do I do now? And to some extent, it is bloody nose training. You get a bloody nose, you come in, you wipe it off, clean it up, tell them what to do the next time. And so we continue our relationship with each individual sales rep, with Van Coker and with Jeff Dostal. Both of these people were $1 million annual producers in Lincoln, Nebraska, when they quit to join us in this particular program. And they are available not only to give you advice and help, but they are available, if you'd like for them to develop 2 or 3 businesses in your community so that you can see the miracle happening.